Okay, now am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Ma'am,
so
I know it answer.
what's the answer, beta?
Troposphere.
Troposphere. Yes, very nice. Troposphere is the correct answer. Yes. And
Yes, ma'am.
what about the third MCQ? What about the third MCQ, beta?
Ma'am, we are in come now fourth MCQ.
No, beta, we are in third one. The layer of the atmosphere. Acha, sorry, that we have done. Okay, what is the answer of the fourth one?
Which of this can
Which of this cannot be used to remove insoluble impurities from water? Insoluble impurities. Okay, so keep this thing in your mind. Insoluble impurity. What is the answer?
Ma'am, 1 minute.
Insoluble impurities. See, filtration is for to remove which kind of impurity?
Sedimentation.
Are you sure?
No,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am, I am sure.
Ma'am, your screen is not available.
Now is it available?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
which of this cannot be used to remove insoluble impurities from water? Okay, it's insoluble, not soluble. So filtration, sedimentation, and decantation, all these three methods used for the remove insoluble impurities from water, whereas boiling is not. The correct answer is boiling. Next is air contains only one gas. It's completely
False.
wrong. Yes, beta? Yes.
False.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
False.
And ozone layer protects the earth from the harmful rays of the moon. No, it's protected from the
No,
harmful rays of
false.
the sun. Yes.
False.
Very good. It's also false. Then comes the distilled water is used in laboratories. Yes, it's true. We had learned that yesterday, correct? That
Yes, ma'am.
it's the purest form of water, and it used at very rare place like laboratory in the laboratories to prepare medicines. Alum helps soluble impurities to settle down. Yes, that also we had learned that how alum helps in, but it's soluble impurities or insoluble impurities because of the alum which we added inside the water. Soluble impurities do not settle down because soluble have capability that it can completely dissolve in water, whereas insoluble settle down at the bottom of the water. So here alum definitely helps to settle down the impurities, but not soluble impurities. But which type of impurity, beta? Insoluble impurity. So this sentence is also false. Got it, girls?
Yes, ma'am.
Pure water contains disease-causing germs. Now again, it's false. How we can say that it's a pure water if disease-causing germs are present into them? Then that's why it's false. Okay, beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
the layer of the atmosphere in which spacecraft orbit. In which layer spacecraft orbit? Do you remember? Anyone of you remember? In which layer spacecraft orbit?
Exposphere.
Which one, beta?
Exposphere.
Atmosphere.
No, exposphere.
It's thermosphere, beta. Okay, the correct answer is thermosphere. Then
Yes,
the
ma'am.
process of removing clear water after the sediment settle down. What's the name of that process? After sedimentation, which process we can do? After sedimentation, we can do decantation, correct? So the correct
Yes,
answer
ma'am.
is decantation.
Yes, ma'am. Decantation.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Decantation.
Now it's very easy. Which process we can remove salt from the water? What is the name of that process? Will give heat and water converts itself into water vapor. What is the name of that process? We can even
Ma'am,
prepare.
boiling. Ma'am.
Ma'am,
Uh,
boiling.
it's evaporation, beta. It's
Yes, ma'am.
evaporation.
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 Okay,
I
and
say
now the most easy, the process of adding chlorine to water to kill germs. Very easy. What is the name of the method?
chlorination.
Very nice. It's chlorination. Okay. So our objectives are also discussed over here of this chapter. Now let's move towards the new chapter. Okay, beta?
Yes,
Okay, ma'am.
Anyone of you remember what's the name of the new chapter?
No, ma'am.
You don't know, beta?
Available.
Okay,
The earth and the moon.
very nice. Now is my screen available?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now
Yes.
we are in new chapter. What's the name of the new chapter, beta?
The earth
Earth
and the
and the
moon.
moon.
Very
The
nice.
earth and the
The
moon.
earth and the moon. Correct. So now, any one of you know any such facts about the earth and the moon? Any some fact about the earth and the moon?
Ma'am, I know Qadri Zoha.
Yes,
Can
Zoha,
I
can you
say?
say? Yes, beta.
The moon round
Revolves.
above the earth.
We can use
Revolves
the
around the earth.
yes, yes.
The earth and the moon.
Okay, so listen to me.
Revolves.
The some of listen, beta. Some of the facts about the earth and moon are earth, okay, always revolves around the sun, whereas moon always revolves around the earth. Okay, so this process goes on. They both, earth revolves around the sun, moon revolves around the earth. In that way this things goes on. Got it, beta? Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then if
Yes,
we
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
okay, if we go
Can I tell some facts of
facts of which thing, beta?
Earth?
Okay, yes, you can say it.
The Earth rotation is largely slow.
Sorry, I cannot hear you properly. Say it properly.
The Earth's rotation is gradually slowing. The, the Earth was once believed to be center of the universe.
Okay. Okay, now listen, beta.
Earth has
Uh,
a powerful
beta, please mute your mic, beta. So the heading of the chapter is the Earth and the Moon. Okay, we should have to. Do you know why day and night occurs, beta? Because Earth revolves around. Okay, rotation and revolution take place by the Earth around the Sun, and that is the reason we feel different changes in the day and night, different seasonal changes. Okay, all such things take place because of the rotation and revolution of the Earth around the sun. The same way you have seen the different phases of the moon. Yes, moon appears different every day. Why? Because of the reason moon revolves around the earth. How earth revolves around the sun, the same way moon revolves around the earth. So these are the some of the things which we are going to learn in this chapter. But because before going to learn about the facts about related to moon, let's learn about the structure of the earth. Can you see, beta? Structure of the earth, heading structure of the
Yes,
earth.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
See, now the
Yes.
shape of the earth is not completely round. Okay, it's spherical in
Spherical.
shape. Yes, it's spherical in shape. Okay, and our earth having three layers. How many layer? Main three layers are there in our earth. Earth have main three layers are there. Can you see
Yes.
this? Can you see this picture,
Yes,
beta?
ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
Yes.
ma'am.
and see
Yes, ma'am. Crust,
name. Okay, and name of this three layer of the earth are crust, mantle, and
Crust,
core.
mantle.
cost,
Mental
mental, and
and
core.
core. Now
Crust, mental,
listen, beta. Okay, now
and
listen.
core.
Okay, now among these three layers, if we talk about the very first layer, crust. Okay, then the crust is the layer where we are living. It's the outermost layer of the earth. Now see here, here solid rocks, soil, sand. Okay, air, water, all such required things are available so that living being can live here naturally. So this is the very first layer known as crust. It is the outermost layer and it is one of the layer where we live. Got it, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if we talk about the second layer, mantle. Now, mantle is divided into two parts, outer mantle and inner mantle. Now, inside, if we talk about the outer part of the mantle, it's made up of solid rocks, whereas the inner part consists of molten rock. Do you know in that earlier chapter, one of the chapter we had learned what is meant by molten rock? Rocks in liquid form is known as molten rock. Yes,
Yes,
beta?
ma'am.
Okay, so
Minerals.
okay, so mantle is the second layer. Mantle's outer part is made up of solid rock because it is just below the crust. So its outer part is made up of solid rock, correct? But the inner part is made up of that liquid rock, that molten rock, and iron and magnesium. Okay, it is made up of iron and magnesium. It contains the iron and magnesium. So it is the things about the mantle. Now, just below the mantle, the third part of the earth is present there, core. How mantle is divided into two parts, the same as core. Core is the center of our earth. It forms the center of our earth. Okay, and it's divided into two parts, inner core and outer core. Now, outer core. In the outer core, iron and nickel, then magnesium. This all are the names of the metals. So we can found them in this different layers of the earth. Do you know? In that chapter number 6, we had learned about the metals and minerals. Yes, beta, that we can found it from the earth. Rocks also, gold also, iron also, nickel. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, so these are the different layers of the earth that contains. This core also contains iron and nickel, but in which state? In the molten state, in the liquid form. Okay. Now the inner core is very much of hot, so it is like a solid ball, almost entirely made up of iron. It's very hot because it is in center. So core of the earth, okay, core of the earth is very hot. Its middle parts and it's very hot. So these are the three parts of the earth. Which are there, beta?
Three parts.
Three parts of
Crust, mantle, and core.
Outer core and inner core.
yes.
And inner core.
See, if you can remember this inner core and outer core, then it's okay. Otherwise, you have to remember three names. Which three names? Crust, mantle, and core. Yes, there are the three
Crust,
main.
mantle, and core.
There are three main parts of the three main layers of the earth are there: crust, mantle, and core. Okay. Now after this topic, our new topic is the moon. Now, in this new topic of the moon, we're going to learn very interesting facts about the moon. Okay, you know very well, correct? In the lower standard also, you have learned that moon is the Earth's nearest neighbor. It's very nearer to the Earth. Yes, and see,
Moon is the satellite of Earth.
yes, moon is the satellite of Earth also. Now, see, another thing is there how we have atmosphere and air present here on our Earth. The same way, such kind of atmosphere and air is not present on the moon. Okay, so you may have seen in the pictures that astronauts wear a particular kind of clothes when they are going on the moon. Why? Because they want to save themselves from the harmful rays if they found it, if they got it at that place, so that they protect themselves because such kind of air and atmosphere is not present there. Okay, beta, let me show you if
Yes,
I
ma'am.
can see. Okay, that astronauts, see, can you see them? They wear special clothes
Yes,
that we
ma'am.
will that we
Yes,
will learn.
ma'am.
Yes, yes.
So,
Okay, that will okay. That particular thing we'll learn in that topic. So now let's see what is the next line. The moon moves and revolves around the earth. In the beginning of the chapter, we have learned it, correct? That it always moves. See, moves and revolves, rotation and revolution. It just take a round around the earth also, and at the same time it just moves. Okay, in on its own center also. So in that way, revolution and rotation takes place. Now, next is it does not have light of its own, and but throwbacks and reflects the lights of the sun. You know this very well. That moon does not have its own light, but it shines because of the light of the sun. Why do it shine?
Ma'am, the light
Because
of
of
the
this.
sun.
Ma'am, because of the light
Ma'am, because of the light of the sun. Because of the light of the sun.
Okay.
of sun
And
goes.
why? Okay. And once again, the question comes in our mind that if moon does not have its own line or own light, then how can we see it? We can see it because sun's light reflects on it. Sun's
Yes.
light comes upon it, it reflects on it. That's why we are able to see the moon. Got it, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Excellent.
never sun and moon never been, but it's go when Earth rotates now. So sun go to another place and moon come here.
Okay, fine. And listen, can you see two pictures over here? See how moon looks and
Yes, ma'am.
how moon appears from the earth. In the same way, how earth appears from the moon. It's the area of the earth from where we can see the earth. In the same way, it's our earth, how on the earth moon appears. See, two different pictures are given. Can you see this, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Now see how nice it looks, the surface of the moon. In the picture it looks very nice, but the fact is something different. Okay, sir, so let's learn about the surface of the moon. Now in the surface of the moon it is written there, see, as earlier we have told that there is no such kind of atmosphere present there. That's why the moon is very cold and dry. Okay, on the moon when we how is the surrounding? The surrounding is very cold and dry, and the same way lots of dust is also found there. Another thing is there, the mountains. Okay, there are the mountains. Beta, who is the girl? Please mute your mic. Now here the areas, the land areas or the mountain areas. Okay, lots of halls can be found over here. Lots of halls can be found here, and because of these halls the surface is uneven, and this hall like structure which we found on the moon is known as craters. Is known as what, beta? It's known as
Craters.
craters. See here it is written. Can you see that? Craters. Through the arrow it is shown, beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, fine. Now see, in the bold handwriting also it is written here that the deep hall,
Yes, ma'am.
the deep halls on the surface of the moon are called what? Are called craters.
Craters.
Yes. Now, why this craters happens or why this all like structure can be found over here? Okay, because
It's dust effect.
yes, dust. It is covered with the dust. It is correct, but this have been created by rocks from the space that hit the surface of the moon. Do you remember yesterday we had learned that those rock or like structure just disappears in the one of the layer of the atmosphere, and
Yes.
it's not able to reach to our earth. Yes, we
Yes,
protected
ma'am.
by that layer of the atmosphere in that way. But here I have told you that here no such protective layer is there. So that kind of rocks just comes and falls down on the moon, so that this kind of holes, this kind of craters can be found on the surface of the moon. Understand, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, now comes the very interesting topic, phases of the moon. Can you see that? Different shapes, different
No,
size,
ma'am.
different shape,
Yes,
different
ma'am.
size moons can be found here in this picture. Can you see them, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, these are this different. This we know notice every day. Every day shape of the moon appear different. We see changes in the shape of the moon. Yes, beta?
Yes,
Yes or
ma'am.
no, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what is means by the phases of the moon? The shape of the moon appears to change as it revolves around the earth. See in the picture also you can see it revolves around the earth, and that is the
Yes,
reason
ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
this changing shapes of the moons are called what? Phases of the moon. Okay,
it's
the
called
changing shape of the moon, phases of the moon. Now,
and
phases of
ma'am,
the moon
it's
appear.
only full only, but the sunlight was some less.
The phases of the moon appear due to the changing position of the sun moon and the earth. Yes, we know that all these three, sun, moon and earth, their position changes, and as and when their position change, okay, because of that, moon appears different every day. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now it's clear.
Okay, fine. So let me show you, if possible, to the change different phases of the moon.
Ma'am,
Yes, beta. Just a minute. Hold
can
on.
I
Okay.
ask you a question?
Yes, beta. Sure.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, I have
this
one
is
question.
out of our chapter.
Yes.
It's a question about moon. It's just for my fact. Why do moon revolves around the earth?
Why do it? Okay. Why or how in the space different entities can be found? Yes. There is sun,
Yes.
there is moon, there is earth. Okay. So all are the natural things. That a wise question we cannot found till now. But they are just moving. How earth is moving around the sun. How
Yes.
they have their different. What can I say? How do we have different types of work? Means my duty is to teach you science, okay, then other teachers duty is to teach other subjects. The same way these entities can be found in the space, and they are behaving in the natural way, and because of that natural thing we can feel, we can found different day and night changes, okay, different seasonal changes, different shape and size changes. Are you getting understood? uh,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, so I hope you understand now. Well, now can you see
Okay,
my
ma'am.
screen? Can you see my screen, beta?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am. No,
Yeah,
ma'am.
just
No,
a
ma'am.
minute, just a minute.
Ma'am, I don't understand.
What you don't understand, beta? Just a minute. Okay, let me present the screen. Now, can you see, beta?
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
fine.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now
Ma'am,
it's
Okay,
ma'am,
just a
yes,
minute,
ma'am.
beta.
I
Just a
have.
minute. Just a minute, beta. See, now can you see
Yes.
different shapes
Yes,
of the
ma'am.
moon? Okay, you can see
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
from
Phases
here.
of moon.
And what, beta?
It's called phases of moon.
Yes, these different changes in the shapes of the moon is known, and see how it revolves around the earth. That also we can see
And
here.
ma'am, it's only full, but sunlight was not.
See how sun's light falls on the moon. How sun's light falls on the moon. It's responsible for the different changes in the shape of the moon. Okay, now you can see this. See, when sun's light is not able to falls upon the moon, it's known as new moon. Okay, and on that day, moon is not visible. In you may have noticed it. You may have seen that one day we are not able to see the moon. That day is known as new moon. When sun's complete light falls on the moon, on that day we can see full moon. You may have seen it. Yes, complete moon night also. Yes or no, beta?
Yes, ma'am. I think
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
Yes.
in
So
Gujarat.
then,
Yes, ma'am.
full- then just after the full moon, it losing its shape, means it became more small. Then one day it disappears. So that day it's known as new moon. Then after new moons, once again, slowly and steadily, sun's light start falls on it day by day. So it also appears a little bit bigger day by day, and the day complete light of the sun falls upon it. It appears as a full moon. Understand now?
Ma'am, it's all has name
See,
also. The full
yes,
moon.
these
No,
are the
ma'am.
different names. But right now you don't have to remember these names. Okay. In the next standard you will.
This is not coming.
Okay. Now see, understand now, beta. Phases of the moon now. See how the three
Yes.
positions of the sun, earth, and moon. Got it, beta? They all of their
Yes, ma'am.
three position is different, and see how moon start moving.
Reversing
Yes,
it.
reversing. So the sun's light falls on it little bit. So we can see only that part of the moon. Now it will move more. So we can see, just a minute, okay, let it come, then I will explain. See, the size of moon is also shown over here. See, it appears more now, more bigger. Can you see that?
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay, now see the more light. See, now more light falls upon the moon, so it appears more bigger. Now when it reaches here in this angle, 180 angle, complete light of the sun falls. Okay, now once again it start appearing, means it decreasing. So we can see only that part of the moon. Okay, it decreases. Now it decreases its size. So in this way, different position of the sun, earth and moon is responsible for the phases of the moon. I hope you get it now. Got it, beta?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
just a
Ma'am,
minute.
can I ask my question?
Okay, just a minute. Okay, beta? Yes. What do you want to ask, beta?
Ma'am, it is not of our chapter.
Okay, so can you ask me at last, beta? If it's not in hurry, you please keep remember this thing in your mind. Okay,
Ma'am,
whatever you
it's
want to.
Earth only.
What, beta?
It's Earth of Earth.
I have told that you ask me at last. Okay, we'll solve it at last. First, let's complete, because otherwise our continue we lose our continuity. So it's about phases of the moon. Okay, now comes the moon and the tides. Have you ever heard about the tides?
X.
Have you heard, beta, about the tides? You may
No,
have
ma'am.
seen in
No,
this.
ma'am.
Listen, you may have not heard this name tide, but you have definitely see in this kind of pictures in the sea and ocean.
Ma'am, I know. Ma'am, I know.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, listen. First of all, listen. Okay, water level rises and then falls, and the water level. This kind of changes we can found in the water bodies, especially seas and the earth. What happens because of the gravitational force of the earth, then moon, the sun? Okay, always what kind of things occurs or take place? The rises and the falls in the water level in the water bodies. Okay, is known as tides. So what happened in the high tides? In the high tides, the water level rises, and in the low tides, the water level falls down. So this goes on. You may have observed and you may have seen it. Yes or no?
Ma'am, we
Yes.
have.
Yes,
Ma'am,
beta.
I can't understand.
I'm explaining again. Just a minute. What do you want to say, beta?
Ma'am, can I say in Hindi?
Yes.
मैम आपका जो मतलब है ना
Hmm.
आप जो कह रहे हैं उसका मतलब है कि जो जो लहर होती है ना, जो
Hmm.
दरिया में जो लहर होती है ना वो ज्यादा आती है ना, तो
It's
उसका जो
not about
प्रेशर
air. It's not about air in Darya, beta. Water level. I'm telling about the level of the water. It rises and it falls down. Okay.
मैम
Uh,
नहीं लहर
sorry, beta.
लहर
Ha, leher.
मैम
Okay. It's about leher. Now listen. Uh, as the
Ma'am,
earth
high
spins.
tide
Listen.
and low tide.
Listen. I said listen. See, as we know that earth spins, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because as earth spins, the whatever water surface is present there on the earth, okay, it pulls water towards it. Whatever we throw up falls down or not. Whatever we throw up comes down on the earth or not, because of the gravitational force, correct? Yes, beta. Do you know about the
Yes,
gravitational
ma'am.
force? Okay, the same way as in when the earth spin, okay, the water on its surface is pulled towards because of the gravity. Okay, because of the gravitational force, it pulls that water level towards it. Now at the same time, moon's gravity, moon also have some of the gravitational force. It also exerts pulling force on the ocean and sea. Now because of it, it tries to comes outwards. Earth gravity pulls towards it, and moon's gravity pull towards it. So what happens? The water level rises and water level falls. Now you understand? Where is moon?
Yes,
Moon is
ma'am.
okay. So in that way, the water levels rises and the water levels falls down. Now sun. See, sun is very far from our earth, but then also it exerts a little bit force on this water body. Okay, so its effect, its effects is not that much, but the moon's effect, it's a lot. Now gravitational force is exerted by the moon and the sun. Okay, and because of the earth's rotation, it causes the rise and fall in the water levels. Now whenever this water which is present in the water body, okay, it rises in the ocean and sea, okay, and it just falls down, we gave a name is known as tides. Okay, what is the name? Tides. The rise and the fall of the
Tides.
water. Rise and the fall. Now simple, if you don't understand anything else, just listen. The rise and the fall of the water level in water bodies such as ocean and seas is called what? Is called tides. This simple sentence, I guess it's easy to understand. Yes, the rise
Yes,
and fall of water, you can imagine also, you may have seen also the rise
yes,
and fall of the water level in water bodies, and especially we can see this thing where in the ocean and seas, and this thing is known as tide. Other thing you have
yes,
to remember is that when this water level rises, it is called high tide, and when this water level falls, it is called low tide. Got it? See,
yes, ma'am.
both the pictures are also shown, high tide and low tide. Understand, beta?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, now listen. Now very interesting thing we are going to see now, that a picture of that astronaut.
No, ma'am, I don't understand.
Okay, now can you read this beta? The thing which I have
Yes,
explained.
ma'am.
Kulsum,
Yes.
you don't understand, but you just read it. You can get it beta. See, I'll show you the picture. Now you read it once. See the rise and the fall of the water. You have ever visited ocean and sea beta? You may have seen such kind of things, that water level rises and water level falls. Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
ma'am.
that water
Okay,
waves
so that
come.
is,
Water
yes,
waves.
comes, yes, so that is called the tides beta. And when it rises, it is called high tide, and when it is falls, then it is called low tide. Got it, Kulsum?
And then when
Ma'am,
we go
you
to
say
river
now.
rafting, so that also.
So now comes the interesting
Ma'am,
topic, land.
ma'am, you
Yeah.
say rise. I don't understand. Rise.
rise એટલે લહેર ઉછળે ને બેટા, પાણી બહાર આવે બધું.
Hmm.
Understand? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, it is
Okay.
called rise.
Ma'am,
So
can I?
now comes the landing on the moon. What's the topic of what is the name of this
And
new
in the
topic?
river rafting also so much waves come high.
Yes, landing on the moon. Okay, it's very interesting topic. There was a first person, okay, who reached on the moon. The details about that thing, that particular incident is explained over here. Mahrin, read beta, landing on the moon.
Yes, ma'am. Landing on the moon. On July 20, 1969, American astronaut Neil Armstrong became the first human being to set foot on the moon. He was a part of the Apollo,
Apollo 11.
Apollo 11 space mission and was accompanied by
accompanied
astronauts.
accompanied means not only he,
Accompanied
but with
by
two more people.
astronauts.
Yes, Aldrin and
Edwin, Aldrin, and Michael
Michael Collins.
Collins. The
Yes,
astronauts wore special suits called spacesuits in
yes,
order to survive the cold, lack of air, and harmful rays in the space. The collected rock samples from the moon and returned to the Earth safely.
very good. Thank you, beta. Now see here, as and when they reach there, yes, beta.
Ma'am, of Indian, the first person who reached is Rakesh Sharma.
That he was Rakesh Sharma, but here we are talking about the very first person, okay? Not Indian or anything else, but we are talking about who
Of
was the
course.
first one, who was the first person who reached on the moon, correct? So here you can see this at the very first time. Okay, the people reach over there, and name of the mission is Apollo 11 mission. Okay, there was a mission through that mission they give the name of the mission Apollo 11 mission. And when they keep their first foot on the moon, see how it looks, how it appears. That picture is also available here for us. and this kind of space suit they have to wear. Why they should have to wear such kind of space suit? Because we have learned that on the moon no such kind of air or atmosphere or no protective layer is there. So there might be a possibility that harmful gases or harmful rays, okay, can affect to those people who land there. So to protect themselves they have to wear such kind of protective space suits. Got it, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
Ma'am, now
and
can
see,
I ask a
listen,
question?
beta, just a minute, let me explain. And On which date they land on the moon? On July 20. Which year? 1969. Okay, and the name of the person is American astronaut Neil Armstrong. He was the first person to put his foot on the moon. Now, in that mission, not only he was there, okay, but he was there with two more people, Edwin Aldrin and Michael Collins. All these three together were there on the moon. Okay, on which date? On July 20, 1969. Correct? Through which, what is the name of their mission? Name of their mission was Apollo 11 space mission. And this I have told you that they wore special suits. Correct? Why they wore special suits? So that they can save themselves from the cold and lack of air and harmful rays. And not only that, but even but they collected the sample of the rocks from there also, so that after coming back they can do some research on that rocks on the soil. Got it? So it is about the landing on the moon. Yes. Now, what you want to ask me, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Ma'am, the Earth has magnetic. The Earth has so much magnetic. So why it has magnetic powerful?
Magnetic? It's not magnetic, but it has the gravitational force, gravitational power. Got it?
Magnetic field, ma'am.
What magnetic field? Yes,
Yes.
because the center is made up of hot iron. See, here we have learned. Just a minute, let me show you the center of the earth. When we had learned that there are three layers of the earth: crust, mantle, and core. We had learned about the inner core, if you remember then.
Yes,
The fact about the inner core, we have learned. What I said you about the core? Anyone of you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
The fact about
yes,
Ma'am, I
ma'am.
know Kadri Zoha. Can I say please?
okay.
I also know Iman Fatih.
because the inner core is solid ball, almost entirely made up of iron. Okay, its inner that core of the earth is very hot. Because why it's very hot? Because it's entirely made up of iron, so that we can feel that magnetic force, magnetic power. Understand? Got it? Iman, where is she gone? Can you hear me, Iman? Girls, can you hear me?
Yes,
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 ma'am.
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
fine. Okay, fine. Now see, the next topic is eclipse. What's the next topic?
Eclipse.
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 At,
Any one of you know what is means?
eclipse.
Any one of you know what is means by eclipse?
No,
Yes.
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, Sharmali
Okay.
Aisha.
Yes, Sharmali Aisha, you can say it, beta.
Ma'am, eclipse is a eclipse. Solar eclipse is a one type of illusion. One type of illusion that any of the planet come near the sun, so that we
Okay,
can
listen. Okay, no, it's not exactly that, but see here this picture properly. Can you see this picture,
Ma'am,
sun,
can
moon,
I?
and earth? Can you see better this sun, moon, and earth? See that different,
Yes.
the
Ma'am, I
different.
know. Can I tell?
Just a minute, beta. Now let me explain. Then I will ask you. Okay. See their positions: sun, moon, and earth. Okay, all of these three positions.
Ma'am,
Now
I
what?
don't see Earth.
Earth is here only, beta. It's written here also, earth. Okay, now
Ma'am,
when
your screen is not.
is it not available, girls?
No, ma'am, it
Ma'am,
is available.
It's available
ma'am,
only. Also, there might be some issue in at your place. Okay, you just try. You can get it back the screen. Okay, now listen, beta.
yes.
The girls, sun, moon, and earth. When but when they comes in a particular position in the straight manner, okay. Sometimes because of that, what happens? One particular object hide the another one, and so because of that, we cannot see the third object. So this kind of eclipse like situation can be occurs or take place. For example, if you have a torch in your hand, correct, and
Yes, ma'am.
when you are throwing light on any object through the torch, you can see that object nicely. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
A complete dark room is there, and in that complete dark room, you are entering with the torch. So wherever you are moving the torch, you can see that object, right, beta?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay, but if you keep your hand, your palm upon the torch, now you are not able to see the object. Yes or no?
No,
Yes,
Why?
ma'am.
ma'am.
Why? Because
And
now
because of
light,
lots of
because the
the
light is now not, because light is now not falling on the object which you want to see.
it is
So
falling
we are,
off our hand.
no. So it is, so we are not able to see any object because we have blocked the light which is falling on the object. But you just put a little some half part of your palm. Okay, you put the half torch covered with your palm, and you allow half light to fall on the object. You can see object partially. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Some
Ma'am, your voice
some
is
of the light falls
breaking.
on the object. You can
Ma'am, your voice is breaking
see.
and not understand. Iman is speaking which.
But you girls sleep and have patience. You don't interrupt again and again. Listen it properly because there might be a network issue because the such things happen. Now in that, what can I do, beta? If network issue
Ma'am,
is
my
there, okay,
mic
I'm
is
trying and
not
I'm
full, so Miss Terry.
Ma'am, my network is full.
here is also full, beta. Okay. So now listen once again. When you block the light of the torch and you are not allowing it to fall on any object, you are not able to see the object. Yes, correct? Yes or no? Now no one is replying. Can you hear me, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
you move your hand a little bit. You move your palm little bit and allows some of the light to fall on the object. You can see that object partially. Okay, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in
Yes,
that
ma'am.
way, the same thing happens in the eclipse. The same thing happens in the eclipse. Okay, what happens in the eclipse? Any object in the space, if it blocks the view of the another object. Okay, so because of that it blocks the other object. We are not able to see the object. Otherwise, we can see half or more than half or the partial object. So this kind of situation is known as eclipse. Now, mainly there are two types of eclipse are there: solar eclipse and lunar eclipse, sun eclipse and moon eclipse. Okay, solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. Now, what happens in the solar eclipse when because of the moon, we are
Moon.
not able. Yes, because see, in here it is written, solar eclipse occurs when the moon comes between the sun and the earth, and because that moon comes in between the sun and the earth, it blocks the view of the sun. So from the earth we are not able to see the sun. That's why that kind of situation is known as what? That kind of situation is known as solar eclipse.
X.
Now
Solar.
if the position of the moon is a little bit changed, and if we can see half of the part or some of the part of the sun, okay, then that partial, we can see the partial sun, then that particular thing is known as partial solar eclipse. See, in the partial solar eclipse, we can see the sun in this way, just like that, different phases of the moon. Can you see this, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How moon appears different every day in the situation of the partial solar eclipse? Sun also appears this way, like this. And in the complete solar eclipse, we cannot see the sun. Sun disappears, just like the moon.
Yes, ma'am.
Understand, beta?
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
then
Okay,
the
and
difference between moon and the sun is that sun disappears only for 50 minutes and moon disappears for around 15 days.
but why 15 days? Not, it does not disappears for the 15 days. It takes some days to move around the earth. That's why
That
every
also.
day, that's why we can see different moon every day. And now here this solar eclipse and lunar
Can I
eclipse
say what is
take
something
solar
eclipse?
eclipse and lunar eclipse take place only for some hours, because for few hours the moon is able to block the sun, not all the time, because we know that moon is changing its position. See, sun is not at all moving from its place. Sun is a star. Sun is a star. It's not at all
Star.
moving its place. Yes, it's not at all moving its place. It remains as it is on its place. But this moon and earth are always moving from their places. So all this kind of changes we can found it. Got it, better?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now listen here. You can see this.
Hmm.
This boy has wear a particular kind of glass. And whenever if we wants to see this kind of eclipse, we should also have to wear such kind of glasses. Okay, we should not have to see the eclipse through the bare eyes. Otherwise, it may affect, it may damage our eyes. So we have to keep this thing. Remember always that we have to wear the special eclipse glasses whenever we wants to see this kind of eclipse. Okay, or otherwise a object known as a pinhole projector. With the help of that we have to see this eclipse, but ever and never we have to see the eclipse without wearing such glass, or without without this object known as pinhole projector. Okay, now comes the lunar eclipse. Just like the how we are not able to see the sun, the same way when earth comes between moon and the sun. See, can you see here in the picture better?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How here in the solar eclipse moon comes in between the sun and the earth, the same way in the lunar eclipse earth comes in between sun and the moon. See, I have told you earlier, sun is not at all changing its position. It's always moon and the earth, they are changing their position. So now in the earlier eclipse moons comes in between sun and the earth. Now here in this eclipse, in the lunar eclipse, earth comes in between the sun and the moon. So because earth comes in between sun and the moon, we are not able to see the moon. We are not able to see the moon. Okay, and because we are not able to see the moon, okay, this situation is known as lunar eclipse. And this things happens always in the full moon. This things always happens in the full moon. Are you getting understood? Because other than that,
Yes, ma'am.
in the other than that, in the new moon, we are not getting to see the moon. But it take place in the full moon. When the complete moon is there, lunar eclipse always take place on that time. And though it is the full moon, though we should have to see the complete moon, then also we are not able to see the moon. Why? Because the earth comes between the sun and the moon, and that's why we are not able to see the moon. So it is known as the lunar eclipse. But if the position of the earth is little bit change, and if we can see some of the part of the moon, okay, then it is known as the partial. It is known as the partial lunar eclipse. See phases of the lunar eclipse, how it looks. If we can see only some of the part of the moon during the full moon, how it looks, how it appears. That picture is also given here. Can you see this better?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now,
Yes,
now,
ma'am.
now let me
Yes,
show. Okay, so in the very beginning of the topic, what are the things we had discussed today?
yes, ma'am.
Today
Discuss
we
of the moon, earth, and the moon
Eclipse,
and sun and the
landing on
earth
the moon.
and the eclipse,
it is eclipse. The pronunciation is eclipse or eclipse.
Eclipse,
eclipse.
It's not eclipse, but it's eclipse. What is the
The
pronunciation?
title eclipse.
eclipse,
Ma'am, can I say
Okay.
what
then
is the
moon.
meaning of eclipse?
First of all, tell me the meaning, the heading of the chapter. What is the heading of the chapter, and which number of the chapter is this?
Lesson
Chapter
number
number
9,
9.
Earth and Moon. The Earth and the Moon.
Okay, it's chapter number 9, the Earth and the Moon. Okay, and what was the very first topic? Who remembers that?
Can I tell?
Yes, beta.
Ma'am, please repeat.
What is the name? What's the name of the first topic which we had learned today?
We had learned Earth that the three part of the three most layer of the Earth.
No, in the very first we had learned beta the structure of the earth. What have we learned?
The
Structure of
structure
the
of the
earth.
earth. Huh?
Yes, we had learned the structure of the earth. Our earth have three layers. Which are they?
Yes.
Crust, mantle, and
Crust,
core.
mantle, and crust, mantle, and
Crust,
core.
mantle, and the core.
Very good.
Crust,
Crust,
mantle,
mantle.
Crust, mantle, and core.
Yes, it's crust, mantle, and core. Okay, and then
Cross
just after
mental
that,
and
then just after that we had learned the details about the moon. Correct? The facts about the
Yes,
moon.
ma'am.
Okay, then just after that we had learned different phases of the moon. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, after phases of the moon, we had learned about the
surface of
surface
the
of the moon. What had
Surface
we
of
learned?
the
Surface of the moon.
surface of the moon.
surface
moon.
of the moon.
After surface of the moon, what had we learned?
We had
Solar,
learned
We had
solar,
learned sol.
eclipse.
No. Eclipse.
After surface of the moon, we had learned
Eclipse.
about the
solar
tides.
eclipse,
Eclipse.
After that, we had learned
solar
about no, but after that we had learned about the tides.
Phases of the
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
and
ma'am.
Tides. After
after
that, we had learned about
yes,
tides.
Tides
after
of
that we had learned
the
about the
ocean
tides.
waves.
How many? What is means by tides?
Tides
Tides.
means that waves that come in ocean, big and small waves.
Okay,
It's
okay.
called
Actually, we'll
tides.
give answer in this way. The rise and the fall in the water level in the water bodies is known as what? Is known as
It's known as
tide.
tides.
Okay,
It's tides.
what is high tide and what is low tide?
High tide means
Tide.
it's
Ma'am, can I tell?
When water level rises, it is known as
high
I
Tides.
high
okay.
tide.
When water level rises, it is known as high tide, and when water level falls, then it is known as
It is
Low
low tide.
tides. Low tides.
it's known as low
I
tide,
say
right?
what is the meaning of eclipse?
Okay, now what is the meaning of eclipse?
Yes, ma'am. An position when the moon or sun seems to completely or partially disperse because
You are
what?
reading from the textbook, beta. Yes.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I am not reading from textbook.
Mummy.
Okay, then you are reading from where, beta? You are reading from something. Yes, some from other sources. Which one is that? Okay, anyways, listen. Is my screen available now, or you or not?
Ma'am,
yes,
I am reading
Yes, ma'am.
from.
Yes, ma'am. Available.
Okay,
Ma'am, I
now
am
let's see.
reading from Google Dictionary.
Okay, fine. So now listen here. Then just after that, we had learned last two topics. Which are they? Eclipse, solar eclipse, and lunar
Eclipse.
eclipse. Now see, here in the beginning, in this way, three different pictures are there: Earth, Sun, and Moon. Okay, the
Yes, ma'am.
pictures are given here, and the fact about we have to say that the sentence is true or false. Okay, so of these facts we have already learned that Earth always revolves around the Sun, and the
Sun.
moon revolves around the Earth. Then we
Earth.
had learn here in the next topic the structure of the Earth, that our Earth is divided into three part: crust, mantle, and core. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then moon is our Earth's nearest neighbor. Yes, and no such atmosphere and protective layer, no air, no atmosphere can be found on the moon.
Mummy, your voice
Its
is
own
too
light.
much
It
breaking.
lights, it shines because of the light of the sun.
It's too breaking.
Moon
Mummy, your voice
reflects the
is too
light.
much breaking.
Moon that reflects the. Listen, beta, but don't interrupt. You just wait. I said. Is Marin there? Present there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me clearly, beta?
No,
yes,
ma'am. In middle, there is too much breaking.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Now can you? Now all of you hear me clearly, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, fine. So now here we know that moon does not have its own light. It shines. It appears. It looks shiny because of the sun's light reflect on it. That's why. Then in the surface of the moon, we had learned that this kind of all-like structure can be found on the surface of the moon. Is known as crater. There is lots of dust found on the moon. The temperature is very much of cold. Yes. and it's covered with dust. Then here, why see this craters created? Because the rocks from the space that hit the surface of the moon, and that's why that kind of craters can be found in the moon. And moon does not have any protective atmosphere. Then in the phases of the moon, what have we learned? The shape of the moon appears change because it revolves around the earth, and this changing shape of the moon is known as what? Is known as phases of the moon. Yes, beta?
Yes,
Are you
ma'am.
listening, all of you girls?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
now
ma'am.
we know that Earth have the gravitational power force. As Earth spins, the water the water on its surface it's pulled towards because of its gravity. The same way, Moon also have the gravity. Because of that gravity, it also exerts a pulling force on the ocean and sea. Yes, so it causes the
Yes,
rise
ma'am.
out. It causes the rise of the water outwards. Yes, and sometimes Earth also, but Earth is very far, so its gravity affects it that much, but Moon's gravity is more. Now, in that way, the rise and the fall of the water levels in the water body, okay, is known as what? Is known as tide. When water level rises, it's known as high tide, and when water level falls, it's known as low tide.
Low
Low
tide.
tide.
Yes. Then we had learned about at which date, okay, this people reach on the moon, July 20,
July
1969.
24,
1969.
And what?
1969,
Okay,
American.
who was the first person who reached on the moon? American astronaut
American
Neil
astronaut
Armstrong.
Neil
Neil
Armstrong.
Armstrong. Okay,
American.
what was the name of their mission? What was the name of their mission?
Apollo 11.
Apollo 11.
Apollo
And
11.
who were the two people who joined them, who accompanied them? Edwin Aldrin and
Edwin
Michael
Aldrin
Collins.
and Michael Collins.
Okay, and if they went there without wearing this kind of special suit, can they protect themselves?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No,
He
because lots
can't
of
breathe.
cold, lack of air, harmful rays can be found there. So it's very necessary to wear such kind of safety suits, or this kind of special suits, so that they can protect themselves. Now, can you give answer of this, FBs? The crust is the outermost layer or innermost layer of the earth?
Outermost layer of the earth.
Very,
Outermost.
very nice, very nice. We had learned that we live on the crust. Crust is the outermost layer of the earth, correct?
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay, we live on the
crust.
very
Crust.
nice. We live on the crust. Yes, and crust is the outermost layer of the earth. Very nice. Then is the question: the outer dash is made up of solid rock. Outer mantle, but outer mantle is made up of
Mantle.
solid. We had learned
Yes,
that
the
outer
mantle.
mantle is made up of solid rock, and inner mantle is made up of liquid rock, molten rock. So it's outer mantle which is made up of solid rock. Got it, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The inner part of the mantle consists of, just now I have told you, the inner part of the mantle. Outer part is made up of solid
Molten
rock,
rock.
and very
Molten
nice.
rock.
Very good, excellent. Okay, inner part of the mantle consists, means in inner part we can see the rock, but in which form? In the molten form.
Molten.
Molten
Correct?
rock.
Yes. Correct.
Molten rock.
Okay, now inner core of the earth is a solid ball made up of. This also I have
Iron.
told you. Very nice.
Iron.
Very good, beta. It's made up of iron.
Iron.
Okay, now is it mantle where we can found all the required thing, or is it crust?
Fall.
Life is possible on the crust or on the mantle? Mantle is the second layer, crust is the first layer.
False.
Where are we living? We are living on the
Crust.
crust. Yes, because we found all the required thing to live life here. So here is the sentence that mantle contains everything that is essential for life. So is it true or false?
False.
Very good, it's false. Now the sun is the earth's nearest neighbor. Here it is written like that. Now it's
False.
okay. Then who is the nearest neighbor of the earth?
Moon.
Very nice.
The moon is the nearest.
Yes, the moon gives out light of its own. Moon has its own light.
False.
No, false, ma'am.
No,
Sun
so it's
give.
also false. Very
Sun
nice, very
gives
intelligent.
give
You people are very
nearest of
intelligent.
light.
Very, very good, beta. Now, when the water level falls in the ocean and seas, it is called low tide. It falls when it is called low tide. It is
No,
false,
ma'am.
beta.
No, ma'am, it's
See,
true.
when it's true, beta.
True.
Yes, when it rises, it is high tide. When it falls, it is low tide. So it's true. Okay, beta. Now, fifth one is there is no air on the moon.
True. True.
Very
True.
nice. It is true. Very good.
True.
Very good. Who is that girl who is interrupting true, false without listening and reading? Okay, fine. Now, the eclipse occurs when an object in space blocks the view of another object. Yes or no? See, here it is written. When an object in space blocks the view of another object, it's known as eclipse. So, is this first sentence true or false? It's true, beta.
True.
Yes, it's true.
True.
Okay, now if the sun is completely hidden by the moon, it's called total lunar eclipse. If sun is completely hidden, then is it lunar eclipse? Or is it
False. False.
yes, false. It is false because if sun is not completely seen, then it is solar eclipse, not lunar eclipse. Then if the moon cannot be seen completely, it is called a total lunar eclipse. Now it is true, correct? When moon cannot be seen completely, it's total lunar eclipse. So it's true. Now comes the MCQ. What is the shape of the earth? This we had learned in the very beginning.
Spherical.
Very nice. It's spherical. On which layer of the earth do we live?
Crust.
Very nice. Very nice. Which of the following layer contains magnesium and iron? In which layer we can find magnesium and iron?
Core.
It is second layer. It is second layer, beta. Magnesium and iron we can find in second layer. What is the name of the second layer?
Mantle.
Very good. It's mantle. Okay. So our answer is mantle. Okay. During high tide, what happens to the water level?
Water level rises.
Very nice. Water level. Very good. Very good. When the earth comes between, listen, think and give answer. When earth comes between the sun and the moon, which eclipse is that?
Lunar eclipse.
Very good.
Eclipse.
Very nice, beta. It's lunar eclipse. Very good. The moon is the earth's nearest neighbor.
True.
Very good. It is true. Neil Armstrong was an astronaut.
True.
Very good. True. Yeah, you girls are becoming very intelligent day by day. Before I complete the sentence, you are giving answer. Very nice. The surface of the moon is smooth and even.
False.
Very good. It is false because it is uneven and lots of hole-like structure can be found there. Yes, correct. So it's false. In a lunar eclipse, the Earth comes again. Think and give answer. In a lunar eclipse, the Earth comes between the.
True.
Okay. Listen. How many of you are saying it is true?
No.
Is it true or false?
Ma'am, I am telling Fatima and Fatima Nayani.
Ma'am, true. Sheikh Mahin. Telling false Muskan. Ma'am, I am telling true. Sheikh Mahin.
Ma'am, I am telling false Iman.
In lunar, it's true. It's true, beta. In lunar eclipse, the Earth comes between the moon and the sun. It's true. Okay. Okay. In solar eclipse, the moon hides the sun.
True.
It's also true. It's
True. False.
It's not false.
Ma'am, it's false. My answer is false.
It's not false, beta. It's true. In the solar eclipse. So that's what I'm saying, that it is true. In the solar eclipse, the moon comes in between the sun and the earth, and it is known as so because of that, moon hides the sun. So that's why it is known as solar eclipse. Now it's very easy. The deep holes on the surface of the moon is known as, it's named the following. What is it? How?
Craters.
Very nice. It is known as craters.
Fighters.
The phase of the moon, when one of its side is fully visible, then it is known as
Full moon.
very good.
Full
It is
moon.
known as full moon. Very good. The type of the tide in which the water level rises.
Ma'am, high tide. High tide.
Very good. It is high tide. Okay, now here in the phenomenon that occurs when an object in the space blocks the view of the another object. When one object blocks the another object, it is known as
It is known
eclipse.
as
Eclipse. It is known as eclipse.
Eclipse. Eclipse.
Yes. The eclipse in which part of the sun is visible. Some of the part is visible and some of the part visible. So which eclipse is that?
Ma'am, lunar eclipse.
Ma'am,
It's partial.
lunar
Known as,
eclipse.
no beta, it is known as partial solar eclipse. Read the sentence
ma'am,
once
it's
again.
known as solar eclipse.
No, it's not a solar eclipse, but it is known as partial solar eclipse. Because you read the sentence.
Partial
Read.
eclipse. Part of the sun is visible.
Who are the other girls who are interrupting beta? It's very much disturbing. Oh, girls, beta. Beta, read the sentence properly. See what is written here. The eclipse in which the part of the sun is visible. Some of the part of the sun is visible. Then which kind of eclipse is that?
Partial solar eclipse.
Very good. Partial solar eclipse. Okay.
Ma'am, I don't understand that part.
Okay. Listen, I will explain. Solar eclipse. What is meant by solar eclipse? You understand? Because of the moon, we are not able to see the sun. Okay, because of the moon blocks the view of the sun, so we cannot see the sun. So it is called total solar eclipse. Got it? This fact you got it, beta?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if from some place, okay, from some region, or if a moon moves a little bit, then if some of the part of the moon is some of the part of the sun is visible, okay, only some of the part of the sun is visible, then it is called the partial. मतलब थोड़ो part तो देखाई शके ने, not complete part, but थोड़ो.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that is that kind of situation when we can see the partial part of any object. It is called partial eclipse. So here we can see the partial when some of the part of the sun is visible. So is it same?
Okay, ma'am.
Partial solar eclipse.
Partial
અહીંયા
solar.
કહો. અહીંયા કહો.
Partial solar eclipse.
અહીંયા.
Got it, beta? Understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here the objectives of this chapter is also we have completed, and we have completed this. Who is this girl, beta? Please mute your mic. Are you listening?
Ma'am.
Are you listening? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so which chapter today we have completed?
Chapter number 9.
Chapter number 9. The earth
Chapter 9, the earth and the moon.
Okay, chapter number 9, the earth and
and the
the moon.
moon.
I hope you understand it well, correct? And
Yes,
I
ma'am.
will send related videos of this chapter also. So if you're having any doubt related to all such things, beta, it can be easily cleared. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, so now, would you like to ask anything? Just a minute, beta. Would you like? Just a minute. Would you like to ask anything?
Yes, ma'am. Breaking.
What do you want to ask?